So we're going to move now into the next session, which is what we call Shine the Light. Now, these are opportunities for very quick, short bursts of information about businesses and what they're doing. So it's actually looking at practical applications now, taking all this idea from what Brian said and trying to apply it to what's actually happening in the real world. So I'm going to ask our first 4 Shine the Light people to get ready. You're ready? Okay. They're going to introduce themselves at the beginning, but I'll introduce the first person. And this is Joshua from the Data Lab. Okay.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So I don't usually carry my notes, but I want to be very succinct, and my wedding speech lasted 40 minutes, so and it was booing, so I want to try and avoid that this time. So I'm the skills lead for the data lab, and before that I used to work at Nesta, and I was designing innovation prizes for digital technology, so smart homes, various things like that. So the Data Lab is an innovation centre which is funded by the Scottish Government, and our aim is to try and drive economic growth for Scotland through the application of data science. And what I'm going to very, very briefly talk to you today is about how I think data could benefit your organisation, how it could potentially benefit Scotland, and also how the Data Lab can help you do this. So the first thing is data can drive personalised experience. So when I was trying to think of some examples of this, the only thing I could sort of come up with from my own imagination rather than researching the internet was about minibars. And actually you can use potential data from things like Tesco or social media to potentially predict what people would want in their minibar, and then you could stock the minibar with that Mars bar, or in my case, many bags of crisps. I think that's a really interesting way of using data, customer data, to drive how an experience works in a hotel. The best example I found on the internet around personalised experience was in San Jose Museum of Innovation, where they have wearable technology where you can actually measure your heart rate, various other things like that, and it all visualises that as you go through. And the best trick about that was that actually you wear those wearables on the other part of that museum. And that meant that you can actually track and measure the emotional response that you had or a person had to all of the different exhibits. I thought that was quite cool. The other thing about sort of a personalised experience is if you've got a beacon on your phone, then you can actually track where people go through that museum exhibit, and you can understand where the places are people ignore, the places in that particular exhibit where people accidentally miss, and that can help you design your exhibit a little bit better. So successful marketing, I think data can help that. Thinking about TripAdvisor reviews, you can think about, okay, what factors actually drive a positive TripAdvisor review? What is the impact of that TripAdvisor review? And how can you sort of improve it? And then, of course, efficient operation. So if you're a hotel or you're like a museum here, which is absolutely massive, you can use the data around your energy usage to actually try and make a better decision around actually what you do to reduce your costs and overheads. Other things like this could be your stock, your inventory, so trying to automatically renew your stock. My dentist actually does this, which is really efficient. I wish the other aspect of a dentist was similarly efficient, but apparently not. So what do I think data can do for tourism in Scotland? Well, one of the projects that Data Lab actually funds is with Glasgow, not Edinburgh, hopefully soon Edinburgh, where we actually predicted demand of tourists coming into Scotland. That was very interesting. It used Skyscanner data, it used footfall data from the town centre, and what it did was predict hotel occupancy over the year, and it became very, very accurate over time. So we're using machine learning technology and a whole range of interesting data sets there. The seamless experience. Now what I mean by that is I think this is something which we all need to think about with data, and that is if you're coming in on a plane and then you get on a bus and then you go to a hotel and then you go to numerous exhibits, you want a seamless experience as far as possible. And so how do organisations in Scotland work together to share their data so that you can have shared insights and shared success to create that shared experience? So to sort of go away from this talk, one of the things I want you to think about is your organisation is who can you work with to share data to sort of drive benefit. One of the things I'm doing it currently with our master's cohort in data science, is we're doing a challenge competition based on tourism data. So we're working with Visit Scotland. And actually, I think this competition we do hackathon events, and I think it'd be a really good opportunity to do a sort of Edinburgh tourism data hackathon. So if you're interested in that, then potentially speak to me later on. So what can the Data Lab do? Well, first of all, we can potentially fund projects like the one I mentioned about Glasgow. So if you have interesting data and you want to work with some academic organisation within Scotland, Edinburgh Informatics, of course, are really exceptional in this area, then come to us. Our typical funding is around £70,000, and we also do smaller levels of funding as well, around quick start projects, around £5,000. So that could be potentially exciting if you want to have some benefit for Scotland using data. Skills, so we have a big master's cohort of over 100 data science students. If you want to access them, we have placements over 3-month periods in the summer. And we also have this big challenge competition, which I've already previously mentioned. We've got a PhD program, which we part fund, which could potentially be useful for you. We are doing training programs on executive education in big data, but also just basically data programming as well. And expertise. So we have a team of data scientists who can sort of go into your organisation and sort of sort you out a little bit with your data work. So that's a very quick summary of what I think data can do for you and how we can potentially help. We've got an exhibit up here, so if you want to chat to me later, please do come and say hello. So thank you very much.